Hey, bro.
From 16 teams, we are now down to 2. Following some 3 days of spectacular football matches, Wallsend and Warners Bay will battle it out to be named champions of the TAFE NSW Women's State Cup in 2019. Hello and welcome to the Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility for the finale of what's been a terrific competition showcasing the best in women's football from right across the region. My name is Quentin Connors, also known as Q. It's great to be with you for this evening's final match of this competition, and I'm joined by South Wallsend head coach Cass Wright. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining me here on Bar TV Sports. It's great to be with you.
No worries, Q. Good to be back calling another grand final.
Yes, back here once again. Yeah, I think you've called way more grand finals than me, actually, so you're probably the expert in this sense. But in terms of this game, but also across the whole competition, how good is it that we can showcase, football, like women's football, to such a broad audience?
Yeah, look, it's really amazing that we're able to have this at this facility, and rain, hail, or shine, we've been able to play all games.
Yeah.
So it's great to see all teams participating, the WPL bringing in their younger grades to give them an opportunity, and as well as the community teams putting in a great effort. Yeah,
well, unfortunately, your South Wallsend side unable to be playing in this game. One of the your rivals, Wallsend, are Warners Bay as well. What's your pick for this game, and how do you kind of see it panning out? Where are the battles do you think they're going to be won and lost?
Yeah, look, good game. It will be. Whoever can put the ball probably first in the net, I'm going to go with them tonight. So other than that, look, they've had these games, three games or 3 days of football.
Yeah, yep.
So I think one had a 9:30 game this morning, so it's been a very long day.
Yes.
So given the surface and the intensity, I think last man standing.
Well, as we said in the previous game as well, in the Community Plate final, the fact that these games are only 25 minutes a half, it also kind of goes with your prediction then, and the first team that scores can easily well, not easily, I should say, but can quite, I guess, comfortably almost hold out another team because you're not holding out for a full 90 minutes. You're holding out for potentially 30 or 20 minutes.
Well, it could be, that's right. And we found that today. So trying to catch up quite quickly can be a hard task.
Both teams needing to give their best foot forward right from the first whistle here. Wallsend, they are in the red. Warners Bay in their away kit, the white and the grey, as we are just moments away from kickoff here at the Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. Warners Bay, they've won once before in this competition, the inaugural one back in 2017. Wallsend, they come up short last year in 2018 against Adamstown Rosebud. They'll be hoping to get their first piece of silverware in this competition. We'll run through the lineups in just a moment as we kick off here. Libby Copus-Brown sending it out wide for Wallsend. Number 1 for them in goals, Danielle Redding. Number 2, Alicia Clifford. Number 3, Danielle Nicole. Number 4, Sophie O'Brien. Number 7, Georgia Little. Number 8, Jessica Evans. And number 9, Kayla Pisani. Number 10, Libby Copus-Brown. Number 13, Laura Hall. Number 15 is Kia Parish. Number 24 is Brianna Trappett. That is the starting lineup for Wallsend. We should also mention as well unlimited substitutions here today as well, which is probably going to be much needed considering then a football that both these sides have played in the last few days.
Definitely.
Nickel now getting challenged there by Cass Davis. Warners Bay side in goals, Madison Latter. Number 2, Ailey Davis. Number 6, Cass Davis. Number 7, Jenna Kingsley. Number 8, Tara Pender. Number 11, Sophie Stapleford. Number 17, Caitlin Radstack. Number 18, Caitlin Lydiard. Number 36, Shannon Day. Number 45 is Nia Bradley. And number 9 as well, Gemma Lawson. That is the starting lineup for the Panthers this evening. Both these sides won their groups, although Warners Bay, they lost their first game to begin this competition against Adamstown Rosebuds. It was a bit of an upset of sorts.
2-1.
2-1 in that game. But they were able to work their way back in that group. All teams, well, 3 teams, I should say, finished on 6 points. They were able to get through on goal difference thanks to a 18-0.
Nil over Lochinvar girls, yes.
In a game that Jenna Kingsley, she scored 9 goals in. So that's the reason they were able to make it to the semi-finals, then work their way past Merriweather.
I think it was something like a 15-goal difference it ended up being between the two.
They've done well to work their way back after losing the first game. Wallsend, though, they've been perfect in their results.
Sitting very defensive, the old Wallsend, at the moment.
Not sending too many players forward. Scopus Brown, her cross goes well wide of the box of her target. And it is interesting to note that you say that as well. I mean, considering how much football these girls have been playing, almost, I guess you could say 200 minutes if you played every single game in only 2 days as well. I mean, how would you as a coach be setting up your side? I mean, would you go like business as usual, or do you try and make it a bit different considering how tired these girls will be?
As we spoke before, I'd probably be wanting to get that first goal in and then sort of keep possession as much as they could to make sure that they don't concede, but also have an opportunity to put the second one away. So 2 goals can be unachievable when you're playing a very competitive team. So I think as long as you've got the legs to actually counter-attack and quickly or play a pressing game in the front third, then that may dictate play. But as we can see, we've already noticed that Wallsend are sitting quite defensively at the moment.
Choosing to just hold back maybe and letting Warners Bay come to them. At the moment, though, Warners Bay haven't been in Wallsend's half just yet, unable to keep the ball at the moment.
This is how Wallsend played on the first night as well. They're very attacking and held the ball. I watched on their first game as well.
Bassani now trying to get past her defender. She's going to collect it. Pender just smacking it over the sideline then, not taking any chances. And both these sides, I guess, as we said earlier as well, that this competition does allow some WPL sides to play some younger players, some of their reserves as well as maybe even some 17s and 14s as well in the side. These 2 sides, though, as that ball goes trickling over the byline, these 2 sides, I should say, have majorly played their strongest sides, and it's probably a reason why they're here at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. So we have, if you look at the starting lineups now, they're very heavily weighted for their first grade teams, and that's a decision that each head coach makes with the competition. We've still got a lot of washouts in the WPL, so some teams have 3 games. Well, we have this week, so we have to monitor our loads, and if it's not monitored correctly, then we have injuries and we're heading to finals, and I'm very conscious of that. So
as most coaches will be, won't they? You don't want to overdo your players heading into the business end of the league, but and it does create a bit of a contrasting effects as you see throughout this competition. Then it's been one of the reasons why it has been so exciting, because you don't really know exactly what you're going to get from each team. Because
no, that's right, and that's a good thing. And I think Keelan made a statement this weekend as well, that where he had 5 or 6 players their debut into WPL or in a competition with WPL players. So I think again, it's each club and coach's decision on how and what they play. If their players are up to it, can they handle it, and can they handle the pressure heading into finals? Wallsend, I think we were just talking then, have to win 5 out of the last 6. As long as ourselves and Warners Bay win 3, then that's the top 4 secured. So there are points at stake in the next 5-6 games. So it would be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Well, chance here. I'm not sure how that would stay out. Laura Hall having a shot now. I thought that one was going to go behind the goal on that occasion, and somehow it stayed in instead. Madison Latta doing well to kind of parry it away.
Keeper Laura was Hall definitely challenged in that play then.
Yeah, Laura Hall then banging it back at her towards goal. Wallsend on the offensive at the moment, and maybe getting...
They've just pushed all their numbers up, so hoping obviously to get something from this.
Into the box, maybe Georgia Little coming around the back here. She's gone down to ground.
Allison's playing on. Referee
has said no foul committed there, and pointing for a goal kick as well now. So Warners Bay escaping danger on that occasion. Still 0-0 here after about 6 minutes of football in the TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup Final here on Bar TV Sports. You're with Quentin Connors and South Wallsend head coach Cass Wright. Georgia Little now chesting that one down and then playing Pisani in behind, but it might skid away a bit too fast. No, it stayed in.
And Early's picked it up off the line.
And she's been clobbered afterwards as well on her pass.
On her way through. I was talking to Alison with the referees, and I think one of the assistants had 5 games today, so she was going to give the referees a pep talk and make sure they're all concentrating for the full 50 minutes.
Well, that's one of the things we don't really think about, do we? We talk about the players and the amount of fatigue that they must have after playing so much football. What about the referees as well, having to concentrate for so long?
That's it. And for us, being on their game can play a big part to our game. So they are in the game and they're focused and calling the calls that they need to make.
Yes.
Can change the game.
Well, credit to them as well for their performances over the last few days as well. Their efforts is Tara Pender now. She's got Nickel coming down on a space. Finds Kingsley. Kingsley's going to opt to keep it at the moment.
And this is our first attacking move for Warners Bay for the game.
Yes, haven't had too much of the ball at the moment. Tara Pender now making sure they keep it. And she's taking on the Wallsend defence. Day. She's on the wrong page there with Cass Davis. And goes wide of her target over the sideline. We said in the semi-finals, Warners Bay, they defeated last year's champions, WPL champions, I should say, Merewether United in the earlier game, while Wallsend, they went past the WPL opponent as well, Football Mid-North Coast, to get here. Wallsend winning all of their games as well, heading into this stage.
And as you can see, Kingsley was quite isolated down there in the front pocket. Pender and Davis were the only ones in support, and they were still 20 metres behind. So, as I said, this fatigue will definitely play a part. And if chances, they've got to take. So if they've got one chance, and they've got to take it. They can't miss these ones. Yeah,
because not long to play in each half. Only 25 minutes a half, as we've said. Unlimited substitutions as well. Going to be a goal kick there on that occasion as well. So bordering on the 10-minute mark here in this one. We mentioned the WPL League as well. Wallsend currently sitting in 5th in that league. Warners Bay in 2nd. Wallsend looking like they were going to struggle for the finals this year. This may be their shot at silverware for 2019. Tara Pender. Such good ball control there and keeping it. Lydia today. They're just trying to keep the ball at the moment, but losing it on that occasion. Pisani, Evans. Going to Davis, who's going to keep that one in just. Finds Bradley. Davis, who then just smacks it down the field. And some cool, calm play from Alicia Clifford. Parrish now does well, and she's got a bit of space in front of her. She's going to take it on. Pisani's on her inside. Still with her now. Pisani tries to drop it back. Parrish! It's going to go wide. Some positive play, though, from Wallsend so far.
Yes, it is. And it was interesting because that's all come all the way from a goal kick all the way through up to the front third with not too much disruption during the centre of the park. So
that goal kick going straight over the sideline. So Wallsend will have another chance to keep the ball. Georgia Little, she's offside there, but they've actually met 3 times already this year as well, the two sides. They've played all their WPL matches against one another.
And we watched that game recently.
2-2 draw.
Yes,
yep.
Very interesting. So Wallsend actually had most of the gameplay for the first 30 minutes, and Warners Bay just seemed to be lost on how to actually attack. And, 2 own goals, but yes, definitely interesting game.
Yeah, well, that was one of them, and that was the other 2 games, though. Warners Bay actually hadn't been struggling attacking-wise. 1 5-3 and 1 4-1 the other games.
Yeah.
So given that, there should be plenty of goals in this one, you'd think, considering the amount of goals in those ones.
But we also, so we've been doing a lot of watching lately, so we went and watched Wolves and Merriweather and New Lambton last week, and that was a draw as well. So as you said, there's been no draws in the competition. All of a sudden we've had a flood of draws.
Yes, it took about 13 weeks before we got the first draw, and then all of a sudden
3 or 4.
Yeah. Pisani now trying to find the foot of Hall. Instead finds Parrish. Parrish on the left boot.
And just
wide. I'm not sure if that clipped the upright on its way through. It might have just hit the side of the goal. It can often be hard from where
we're standing.
Yeah, where we're standing to see if it actually goes in or not. We're almost trusting the reactions of the players and the reactions of the crowd to know if a shot goes in. That time was no good from Parrish.
Very compact in that half of the half. There's no one over on this side of the pitch at all. So as you can see, that tide or quick expansion of the field, and we've got a free kick in that area now.
Copus Brown winning that on that occasion. I think it was Radstack cleaning through her there.
And her free kick against Warners Bay the other week was brilliant. So her scoring goals from free kicks is quite, I think, on target. She gets most of hers in, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
We know that she can score a goal. You just have to look at her W League goal to know that she can score and from distance. I'm not sure if she'll be able to score from this angle at the moment. Might look for a cross instead. Does so. Incoming through is Clifford. It's fallen for him again, and it's gone wide.
Davis kicks it out for a goal kick.
Some scrambling defence.
Or was it? Yep.
Madison Ladder as well. She looks a bit worse for wear on that incident there, but just scrambling from both sides. One trying to get it in, one trying to get it out. Back into the box here on that corner. Stapleford then. And now a long shot from Trafford. Cobus Brown picks it up, and she's got a bit of space.
Yep. I think that was Caitlin.
Yeah, Caitlin Radstack, I think, as well, getting in the way of the shot, blocking it and sending it.
And that needed to be blocked, otherwise I think that was going to go close to target, that one.
Cobus Brown, great from a dead ball. She's going now. And just as I say that, curse the commentator once again over the back of the goal that time.
And again, possession, I think I'd have to give it to Wolves and in this half queue.
Well, they're keeping it at the moment, aren't they? Almost 15 minutes gone in this first half, so not long to go. We're over halfway in the first opening stanza. That one's going to nick off the head of Jess Evans.
I'm not sure if Jack's tuned in, but he liked my post, so hi to Jack if you're listening.
A free kick there on Cass Davis.
And that's their first move in their half for a little bit. So
yes, they're not spending all too much time Wallsend's half. It's been a midfield battle at the moment between the two.
Yep.
Wallsend looking superior at the moment, but that can change.
And Pender looks like she may have a cork.
Yeah, she's not looking good at the moment, Tara Pender. Either that or maybe she's just got sore legs considering she's played so much football. Copus Brown now brings it down to the ground. Intercepted, but she works her way back into it and before having a shot, but it's not cleanly hit at all. If you had to pick someone so far in this game then, Cass, from what you've seen in the first 15 minutes of the game, obviously Wallsend at the moment dominating possession, but do you think there's going to be some more goals in it in terms of, like from Warners Bay? Do you think they're going to be able to score against this Wallsend side? They've
got to keep the ball, maintain their possession and do the forward runs. That's a good example now. What have we got?
Well, at the moment they're going at them now.
Yep.
Jenna Kingsley. Bit of a 50-50 there with Clifford, and I think that's nicked off Kingsley as well. It has. It's a goal kick to come. Good defending there from Alicia Clifford. That will hurt her, though, sliding on the synthetic.
Yeah, we've had a few skin knees and
yes, a few grazes.
Yes, lots of skin loss this weekend. You tend to forget that it's not as kind as the grass.
No.
Even though there's not much grass on the fields at the moment.
Great to be able to have the TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup played at a venue like this. Ellie Davis choosing to go back to her keeper instead, and maybe to Radstack. Radstack's going to take it instead.
Chooses not to use the keeper and puts herself under pressure.
He just hoofed it over the sideline instead. Thought that maybe Bradley was able to chest it down, but it just blasted past her. And as I said earlier, Wallsend last season in this competition fell just short against Adamstown. They were in the grand final and came up empty-handed, though. They'll be wanting a bit of revenge of sorts.
Yes.
Go one better.
To take the plate. And that would be 3 different teams in 3 years, is that correct?
It would be. Warners Bay, as Jenna Kingsley's shot goes wide. Warners Bay winning the first season in 2017. Adamstown Rosebud, of course, last year. If Warners Bay do win, they'll be the first team to have 2 titles to their name. And it's good to have that extra bit of silverware too, isn't it, to play for in the women's game, rather than just the premiership and the championship. Free kick there from Jess Evans. She's going to get a booking as well for a challenge on Cass Davis.
I think it was a crucial challenge, given a metre or two, and I think Davis would have been close to the 18-yard having a shot. So
which you don't want to be happening.
No, we'll see what they do with this one.
It might just be a bit far out and a bit to the right of the goal than Cass would have liked. Might have been a bit
she's
closer.
Got the range, though, and Danielle's not that tall, so if she's placing it properly.
She's gone for the cross instead. It's a good ball in, though, in the danger area, but it's just kind of gone past everyone. Although it has nicked a Wallsend player, says the referee, Alison McGreedy. So we're going to have a corner kick.
And that would be their first of the game.
First corner kick, I do believe.
What are we, 18 minutes in?
Not long left in this first half.
But they only need the one.
They only need one, as we said. If you do get that one as well, there might be only one goal in it, because if you do get that one, not much time to defend it.
No.
Jenna Kingsley now. Good ball into the box. Nodded away from Clifford, though. She rose well there.
She does have the height to make sure of those ones cleared.
Well, Gemma Lawson's done well there to help win it back for her side. Lydiard. Stapleford now.
She's still struggling. There's only 2 to give it to and all marked up, so options are limited.
As I was going to say, not many options going forward for Shannon Day, and she just had to knock it over the sideline instead. Does so again. Wallsend just creeping on by now with throw-ins.
And then we have a look at the pitch again, and we're so compact. There's no width whatsoever.
It's like the old saying, could throw a blanket over you. Like
big blanket, but it's still there.
I was going to deflect over the head there. Parrish with it. Looking to just get it into the box, into the danger area. Ladder does well to sprint out to it and collect it.
And this 5 minutes now is crucial, making sure that they're defending not to concede, but also making sure that they can produce a counter-attack to try and look to score that
It's
goal.
almost the business end, isn't it, of
every game.
We see so often, don't we? The last 5 minutes, whether you're playing 45 minutes halves or 25-minute halves, these last 5 minutes can be crucial, especially as I've echoed throughout on going on about like a broken record, how much football these girls have played in the last couple of days. Ellie Davis, she's got Pisani on her tail, but able to get it away. Sophie O'Brien rising well to head it on. Now Laura Hall overlapping Georgia Little there, battling with Gemma Lawson. Lawson wins out, still has it Lawson. Good defensive work on that occasion. Kingsley, she's got Clifford just
stretching
right
out
there.
those feet to try and make sure she got a touch, and she did. And that was a crucial tackle in that area to maintain possession.
Davis now. Both sides are struggling to keep the ball at the moment, aren't they? They're a bit of pinball action.
And it's looking for those movements off the ball. They're all standing with their defensive team, so therefore there's no options available. And that's that tired legs movement, making those runs that are crucial for the attacking move forward. But Wallsend have been very good, actually, winning the ball in this in this half or the central area, and they're making sure that they actually keep it.
Yes, I think Cobus Brown, Jess Evans, Laura Hall as well. They've all been good, just cancelling out the Warners Bay stars. Cass Davis, Shannon Day, Tara Pender as well now.
Yeah, and there's Clifford again on Kingsley winning that challenge where she had to go back and couldn't go forward.
She's playing very close, isn't she? Not giving her an inch at all. Cass Davis now fakes out across, puts Shannon Day in behind, but it's going to be very difficult for Shannon Day to win that. Play on instead. Clifford she's going to ground a lot at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah.
Just desperation of sorts from the Walls End woman at the back.
And that was a crucial touch where Davis had, Ellie Davis, where they maintained possession, and now they've kept the ball. So what can they do now in this last couple of minutes?
Cass Davis does well to keep it. Radstack
goes back into traffic. And we had 2 or 3 out wide to change the point, and we went back in, and now they're struggling to go forward. And have they found a way? Looks like they have.
Cass Davis now puts in a dangerous area. Staplefoot was charging through. Redding puts her body on the line, though, and collects up the ball.
And this is where they'll look for those W League players to make those decisions and get something out of the game. They have to stand up and they have to show what they're made of, and they can potentially change the game.
Pisani now, she might be able to change the game. Former Newcastle Jets product. In the end, it's not going to go over the sideline. Vienna Trappett keeps it in, puts it back into the box. I think there's someone injured down there, though. I think it's Lydiard.
Yeah, it is.
Not sure if she got a kick there or something. It looks like she maybe even just winded the way she's keeling over. We only have about 90 seconds left in this first half here of the TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup here on Bar TV Sports. Still 0-all. Both teams had, I guess you could say, half chances of sort. No real golden chances for either side. There's been a couple of scrambles or so, but both kind of really still battling in that midfield, aren't they?
Yeah, if we're looking at opportunities, I think Wallsend have had more opportunities, but the ones that Warners Bay have had have probably been more significant, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say as well. I've definitely seen a lot more of the ball in a lot more dangerous positions. O'Brien now sneaks that one past Stapleford there. Copus Brown, nice turn in the middle of the field and then tries to switch the direction of the play.
Which they've done successfully.
Spreading Wallsend across the field. Warners Bay, I should say. Pisani with it. One-on-one with Bradley. Tries to get past Bradley. Finds Georgia Little in the box. Georgia Little doing well to keep it. Copus Brown now on the hit, but
didn't connect that one as well as she could have.
Yes, not as well as we've seen her do in previous occasions before. Madison Ladder able to save that one to her left. Tara Pender now, such a handful to mark, and she's now in a bit of a foot race with Danielle Nicol, but she is holding out well. Just knocks it over the sideline as you would. And that ends the first half here, though, with the Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility of the TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup Grand Final. We're still all scores level. 0-all here. Wallsend, Warners Bay. Not much to decide the teams at the moment. Cass, what's your thoughts on that first half? It's been a bit neck and neck at the moment, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and that's what we're talking about. The fatigue and who can push through and who can create opportunities. I think Wallsend have been very good at maintaining the ball and cutting off anything at the halfway mark and then going back at them. And then Warners Bay were struggling to actually find a way to get forward. And even though they had a couple of opportunities. So as we talked about at the start of the game, those opportunities really need to count. And that will be the difference between the two tonight, because that's what the game will be.
Yeah, big 25 minutes still to come here in the grand final. As we said, still 0-all at this stage. Nothing to separate the sides at the moment. It's going to be a big 25 minutes to come here on Bar TV Sports. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll have a quick break with the players and the officials. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, hello and welcome back to the Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility here for the second half, the second 25 minutes of the TAFE NSW Women's State Cup Grand Final as Wallsend and Warners Bay continue to battle it out. It is still 0-0, still all scores level as we begin here. Cass Davis going to knock it wide. Warners Bay in the white and the grey. Wallsend, of course, in their usual and famous red and white. You're with Quentin Connors here on Bar TV Sports. Also with Cass Wright, the South Wallsend head coach. Big second half coming up here, Cass.
Yep, definitely. I'm still going with the first goal wins.
First goal wins. There might not be a goal in this one. That might be the problem.
Yeah, go to penalties.
It's Georgia Little. She's been sent on her way now. Up against Gemma Lawson's. Cuts inside her. Still with it. Trying to get it back onto her right foot and does so. She did well, but knocked into the new goalkeeper as well, we should say. She's been a change made at half-time. Ali Bourget coming onto the field for Madison Ladder. I think that's been something they've been doing throughout much of the competition, having a half each. The youngster and usual backup goalkeeper going to be finishing off this grand final here now.
And that's another decision for the coaching staff because that's one less sub on the field that we have.
Well, maybe Pisani in behind now. Going to maybe test out the new goalkeeper early on. Back onto her right foot. Drops it instead to Copus Brown.
And it's just
forces a save. Bourget getting congratulated by her teammates. Good early save from the usual backup goalkeeper.
And only 1 minute in, and we're seeing the attack already.
Again, and Wallsend pressing forward. And Warners Bay doing most of the defending in this one, as we've seen in the first half.
And that comes back to Wallsend winning the ball in their half constantly, and it's putting a lot of pressure on Warners Bay to try and actually get the ball into their attacking half.
Dangerous into Bourget.
Their girls are claiming a goal, but no movement from the assistant referee on this side.
No, there was appeals and it looked very close as well. A good save.
Because hands did go backwards. No VAR on that decision.
No goal line technology here, but we'll trust the assistant referee on that decision. Bourget doing well in the first opening minutes of this second half. Her first opening minutes in this grand final. Stapleford there. Bit of a coming together with Trappett. And a throw in to Wallsend as well. Copus Brown. A lot of time on her hands now because they're still appealing for that throw in, and she's got time to knock it into the box.
And unfortunately, no one there on the end of that one to pick it up. It was actually a good ball in.
O'Brien now battling away with Stapleford, but
lost the battle.
Was ruled to have illegally pushed Stapleford on that occasion.
And I did overhear the halftime talk for Warners Bay, and they were going to hold their structure. Cassidy was trying to say that we need to get closer together and work off the ball better, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes out.
Well, it may be something that they need to look at because, as you said, Cass, they're losing a lot of seconds and a lot of ball in that middle of the park, so maybe need to start playing a bit closer those middle three. Although, also in saying that, we did notice how bunched a lot of these players were, and which obviously the fatigue doesn't help with that situation, but it's hard to have both ways, isn't it?
Correct.
Warners Bay now trying to get their attack going.
Good run forward, but you've got Wallsend 5 in defence there on 2 or 3, so again, they've come out.
Well, it looks like they're going to be making a substitution, Warners Bay, second of the game.
So Sophia Laurie comes on for Lydiard. These are 2 of my Valentine juniors.
Valentine juniors. Well, Lydiard as well, one of those players that actually went down a bit, I think about midway through that first half, and the reaction she's giving to her coach Craig Atkins on the sideline is saying that she is just stuffed, as you can imagine. Maybe a bit sore, a bit bruised.
And here we have attacking move with
focusing back on the game. Copus Brown, a brilliant individual run, still going with it. Chooses to go wide now. Parrish with a one-on-one chance on Ellie Davis. Cuts it into the box. Radstack's able to get rid of it, although blasted into her own teammate.
Unfortunately, that left foot ladder down. A nice left foot across there. Would have seen...
a bit more power.
Georgia Little onto it.
Georgia Little was hanging around the back stick. She's been looking dangerous as well, Georgia Little, in this early parts of the first half. Pisani trying to get it towards that girl again, Little. And now, a bit of an ambitious effort, but Georgia Little might jump on the end of it. She's onside as well with a bicycle now.
And, yes, a great connection. could have landed her the first goal of the game.
Well, it would have been a spectacular first goal of the game. You think it's obviously a bit harder on those bicycle kick attempts when there's not much power coming on the other end of it, and because it was a bit of a looping ball originally, bounced up. She didn't really get a great connection, did she?
No, and I think they're hesitant because of the high foot thing. So
yep.
If she had actually fully extended that foot, I think there was no doubt it was a goal.
Well, a good show of athleticism, regardless anyway, from Georgia Little. Now, Gemma Lawson, she's been caught with it in the corner. Trappett maybe had a chance to get it to Parrish there. Stapleford now back on the ball for Warners Bay, but
lose possession again.
A lack of connection at the moment between Warners Bay players. And we talk about some of these W League players needing to step up for their sides. Jenna Kingsley's been kept rather quiet in these first 30 minutes of the game, which has been probably a bit of credit to the Wall's End defenders. As Georgia Little now does well to get past.
Turn.
She's got space in front of her.
And where's she going? Yep, she's gone for a short.
Went for Parrish, but again, it's just looking like fatigue, maybe just hampering a little bit the decision-making from both sides as well, taking a bit longer maybe to decide what they're going to do.
And decision-making with fatigue is really a crucial part of the game. If you can make those decisions when you are fatigued, it can mean the difference in a game. I always harp on that because making the right decisions at the right time can make the difference.
That's where you want your experienced players to be stepping up in.
Correct.
These key moments were about 7 minutes gone in this second half. Not long to go. Still 0-0. No goals to be found just yet. Libby Copers-Brown behind the free kick. Should be looking to get this one into the danger area.
And
it's
a
good
great
free kick. Can they find a header?
And Clifford, was that... Yep, on top of it, but unfortunately...
Clifford and Bourget, the goalkeeper for Warners Bay, both almost coming together of sorts and just did enough to kind of tick it away from the rest of the pack.
And there's no movement forward. So Warners Bay have got the ball and trying to get it forward, but there's no one forward.
Yes, and just that fatigue again we keep harping on about it, but at the moment it is showing its head a lot because...
Normally you would see in a game that someone would be up front ready to attack.
We often talk about as well from other WPL games as Wallsend have it on the far side of the screens. We often talk about with Warners Bay, we associate their great attack as one of the big reasons for their success. As Stapleford with it now from Tara Pender. But at the moment, the attack is just lacking a lot, isn't it? No,
and we've got Laurie making a run, and as we know, she's got fresh legs, so that may help with, and she's won the ball. So, has it gone out?
Going to be a throw-in, I believe.
Okay, so, but yeah.
Pressuring the defence of Warners Bay, Wall's End. Laura Hall flicks it behind her. And maybe at this stage as well, you obviously want to be playing your star players, your usual side, that your first, best team side that you usually have during the weeks. But maybe at this kind of point of the competition, this point of the game, substitutions are going to be the big difference.
For sure. Definitely.
Already, Sophia Loy was putting pressure on there and causing a bit of havoc for the Wall's End defence. Maybe some more subs might change this game a little bit. At the moment, Wall's End actually haven't made any substitutions. Warners Bay,
they haven't.
The only subs they've made are for Laurie and their goalkeeper.
And Laurie's playing central midfield by the looks of it, and she'd made the run right up to the left flank, so you can tell those attacking moves. Okay,
so it was going for goal, and it deflected off Wall's End.
And Laurie's first one up there again for Warners Bay, putting pressure on the keeper.
And almost getting it. Well, she's probably the reason they've won that back now, Wall's End. Sophie Stapleford with it. Got Bree Trappett right behind her and loses out in the end. Lawson now just smacking it into Georgia Little there.
And possession's key here at the moment. Warners Bay need to keep the ball. They need to look to get numbers and move forward.
Well, you often hear in sport, and especially football as well, the saying 110% you'd have to believe that this is where the extra 10%, you're talking about in games like this when you've played over, 200 minutes of football or so in the last 2 days. This is where we say that extra 10% when you've given everything already, but you just have to give more because there's still 15 minutes to go and we're still scores level.
Yes. And looks like Little's gone down with a head knock of some sort here.
She doesn't look too good at the moment. She's on her back and holding her head area. Not exactly sure what's happened here at the moment, but hopefully she's all right and can continue.
Because I think she's key if they can get it down on the right flank for her and get a good crossover. Wallsend have been managing to get the numbers in the box, and even if it's just a touch, as long as someone's in there to capitalise on that, then they'll come away with that.
Well, looks like she's going to be staying on for now. No substitution made for Wallsend. Still no subs at all made for Wallsend.
She's still not looking too well. And Clifford can have a free kick here, and let's see what Wallsend can make of this with 14 minutes to go. Q.
And Georgia Little back on the field, which is good as well, but Parrish is with the ball just on the edge of the box trying to find Laura Hall. She can't get there first. Bourget doing well to keep the clean sheet at the moment.
And it's those things from the keeper, which is making sure that they keep possession, and she's given it away immediately, unfortunately, and now Warners Bay are struggling to get it back.
Curse of the commentator, perhaps, once again.
Ben's famous for that.
Yes, he is.
Shout out to Ben.
Wherever Ben may be watching, the usual man behind bar TV Sports, be somewhere in France, I believe, at the moment, and that is deflected over the byline. I'm not sure if this will be going to be a goal kick. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a corner.
They were all both challenging for it, so I think Wallsend were claiming a deflection of Florrie on that one.
Well, at the moment in this game, as a coach, Cass, what would you be saying to your players at 0-0, 15 minutes to go around that in the State Cup final? What would you be saying to your players out there?
Well, firstly, keep the ball.
Keep the ball.
Yeah, maintain possession and try and work collectively as a unit to push forward. If they stay compact and keep the structure, then maintaining the football and able to go 2 goals makes it easier. As soon as you lose structure and the gap between the forwards and the backs, or the backs, and the midfield becomes too big, then you start losing possession. And here we may be seeing that with Wallsend now.
There's a lot of space on their hands now, isn't there? Warner's Bay, Sophie Stapleford, she's got one-on-one here with Bree Trappett. Trying to step over. Playing off the feet of Laurie, but didn't happen in the end, and now Cobus Brown sends it wide. Georgia Little trying to get it in behind. It stayed in as well. Curled just near the line. And Radstack, she's just praying for that to go over the end there, but stayed in there, but a bit of fatigue maybe showing on Gemma Lawson. She wasn't able to extend the leg on that one and keep it in.
And Wallsend just got a touch, which was just enough for Warners Bay to make the final touch on the ball to go out. And as we see, Wallsend back in possession.
Well, Wallsend keeping a lot of the ball at the moment. Warners Bay haven't really been in Wallsend's half at all, or looked like troubling them at the moment. However, when you're talking about Warners Bay, a team that scored 65 goals in the WPL this season, second best in the league, you can't really write them off, can you? I mean, when you have the likes of Cass Davis and Jenna Kingsley, Tara Bender as well, they can strike at any time.
That's exactly right. And as long as they held their possession and moved forward quickly together, anything's possible. And as you said, Kingsley, what did you say, 9 goals?
9 goals in the game against Lochinvar today, or yesterday I should say, when they won 18-0.
And shout out to the Lochinvar girls, they took that quite well.
It's been a great competition, hasn't it, with the the integration of the community teams and the WPL sides. It's just a fantastic occasion, isn't it?
Yeah, and the North Coast girls taking the plate.
Yep.
And Rach, I used to play with, well, actually the first game I was at Sawtell Scorpions, and Rach is from Sawtell, so she also was, I think, Community Coach of the Year.
Yep, the Female Coach of the Year as part of the Rebel Female Football Week Awards. So, and also a recipient of the C Licence Scholarship. A chance here, though, for Laura Hall. We'll get back to that in just a second. She's gone down to ground on the cross, and then she's just watched it go over the byline to win a corner kick. Yes, it is great to see sides like North Coast football as well come together, but also with the connection of Cooks Hill United, who came runners-up for the community plate, and all the other community sides that have featured from right across the region as well. It's been fantastic competition as the ball comes in the box. Clifford! And it's in!
Own goal.
Almost cleared off the line there from Warners Bay, but instead into the back of the net. And that might be the game winner.
Wow.
Red Devils in front.
Was that an own goal off Kingsley or Davis then?
I think it might have been off the head of Cass Davis. It was going in regardless.
Clifford just was sensational in the air then and got enough to put it in the back of the net. Deflection or no deflection, it's a goal.
Yeah, Alicia Clifford rising above the rest, heading it towards goal. Cass Davis was standing on the line, did what she could to try and keep it out, but it wasn't enough. Instead, put it into the side of the goal, and Walls End, they have sparked to life now. There's a big congregation of their fans across the other side of the field. You can see all in red, all supporting their girls.
And 9 minutes to go. It's going to be an interesting 9 minutes to see whether Warners Bay can come back and
maybe a
take
tiresome.
Was it extra time or shootout? I'm not sure. Or was it?
I don't know.
Do we actually? I'm reading the rules and regs. I should know. I think it reverts back, doesn't it?
Well, you might know more than me, but at the moment we're not going there because it is 1-0 to Walls End. We might have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But still an exciting 8 minutes or 9 minutes or so left in this State Cup Grand Final.
Yes. And you'd have to say Walls End still have the momentum.
It's almost like they're lifting now with that goal. They'll be hoping to go to another level, but Warners Bay maybe will kick him into gear. Cass Davis trying to get a foot on the ball a lot. You've seen so far, and she's pushing on now with Tara Pender on the ball. Still with it. Now goes for goal. It's curling, but Redding's able to get across to it. Make sure there's no scraps either on that attempt. As she launches it back down the field. And maybe Walls End, this is going to be their year. Came just short last year against Adamstown. Maybe they've gone one better this year.
I think Libby got player of the tournament. Did she last year?
She did last year. This year went to a community player instead, Maitland goalkeeper.
Yes, she actually did. That was our first game. She had a phenomenal game, actually. But quite a few girls commented on how well she did. So a few of the mums in there I used to work with, so they were going, go easy on us. And quite commendable because I think they went through the tournament without any subs.
Yeah, well, it's great as well to have a community club player as well win that award. Just shows what this competition's all about. Well, Walls End at the moment, they had the ball, but they've given it away off that throw-in.
What can they do to pressure Walls End in this last 7 minutes?
They need to do something. Someone needs to be stepping up at the moment. They have the players to do it. Chloe there, though, just duffing her pass. And now maybe a chance here as ricocheted off, I think it was Parrish.
Yep.
She's pressuring it as well, trying to keep it in, but it's just going to be a bit too quick for her. We're entering almost the last 5 minutes here at the Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. It's TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup Grand Final. Walls End are leading at the moment. It's their second Grand Final. Both teams' second Grand Final. Now Laura Hall, she's slid in and she's won it for Parrish. She stayed on the ground, and now it's a bit of a mistake there from Bourget, but no one was there coming through to help. And now Warners Bay maybe on the offensive. They don't have all too many options going forward, though. And Wallsend back with their foot on the ball, although...
We had a mix-up there by Warners Bay. We had 4 players on the ball, and Wallsend came away with it. So
there's also an injury, it seems, over here now from Lua Hall. She slid in just moments earlier trying to win the ball. And she's staying on the ground now. May have... Not sure if she's hurt her leg or
back or
something else. A bit ginger to get back up to her feet.
Surface isn't the easiest thing to fall on.
No, it's not. As you said before, a couple of players losing some skin over the weekend.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of heavy legs from a lot of girls around northern New South Wales tonight. A lot of early nights happening across.
The ice baths from UBF are still over there, so they can jump in afterwards.
That's been fantastic as well to have UBF.
And Next Gen.
Here. And Next Gen Physio, massage tables, ice baths. It's been a fantastic occasion. The State Cup dinner as well last night.
Yes, it was very good at TAFE. Commendable for the TAFE food. It was amazing.
Good food. How were the speakers, though, as well?
Oh, great.
It's a great event all around as our focus changes back to this game. Georgia Little now battling with Gemma Lawson. Gemma Lawson looks like she's won out. Couldn't keep it in, though.
And Allison's let the play go, so...
Well, on both occasions as well, there was appeals for free kicks on both those collisions of sorts. We've only got a few minutes before the full-time whistle. Wallsend are currently in the lead. Warners Bay need to do something.
The fog setting in. Q, are your feet cold yet in your thongs?
They're a little bit at the moment. Thongs was a bad idea. We're up in the sky that we are at the moment. It's Cass Davis now. She's just trying to get the ball forward at any kind of cost, but it may be a mistake here. Kingsley, saved by Redding.
Great save in the right position.
Well, that might be a championship winning save.
That could well be, Q.
A defensive mishap between Wallsend players just gifted Kingsley with probably the best chance of the game, you could say, and she's just, Danielle Redding, come to the rescue.
And I was thinking that Alicia Clifford was probably having an outstanding game.
We should be breathing a sigh of relief because there's not long left in this game.
So 3 minutes to go, and that was probably maybe the difference between...
Losing the cup and winning a cup.
Yes, definitely.
Last year they came just short. This year they're in front at the moment. Goal kick to come for Warners Bay. They'll try and get it going quickly.
They'll need to.
They need to get it just anywhere near Wallsend's goal. Kingsley, she's come deep to try and get it, but it skimmed past her. Laura Hall sending it wide. And Wallsend, they are still trying to keep the ball to their credit. Still looking to play football. That one just smacked over the sideline, taking their time as well, as you can understand.
Yes, very much
Parrish
so.
now. Long throw into the box. A good throw. Looking for Laura Hall. She got a head to it. Now Bourget will just try and get it going quickly. Goes out wide. Tara Pender.
Warners Bay need to get numbers forward here quickly if they've got any chance of capitalising on this. Crucial here that they keep possession.
They've just given it away. Curse the commentator once again. Parrish will keep this one in.
Yep.
And she's got Bradley.
Waiting for support.
Still Bradley up her back at the moment. And now a lot of space for the Wallsend midfielders.
And they don't look in any hurry, but Libby is...
She's gone for a long shot. It wasn't really anything dangerous, though, for Bourget. That one's found its way through to Kingsley. Cass Davis, maybe the last chance of the game. Tries to find Kingsley. Maybe it's going to find us. Found Pender. Can Pender get a shot away? Finds Kingsley for the shot. It's saved by a block. Still there. And they've gotten rid of it. Alicia Clifford, I think, was the one on the ground. A sliding challenge blocked Jenna Kingsley from going in on goal.
And that may just be another save of the day.
That might be it as well. There's only a few seconds left, I think, in this game.
45 seconds.
depending on what's on the referee's watch as well, there won't be long. But scrambling defence from Wallsend on 2 occasions. And it looks like it's going to win them the Women's State Cup for 2019. Trying to get it going forward. Wallsend defending for their lives at the moment.
We've got less than 20 seconds, so this... And I don't think...
Lots of cheers from the fans.
But Wallsend...
Just cheering on their team home, just praying that their side can hold out. Not long to go.
And there's the whistle.
And that is it. And Wallsend, the Red Devils, they are the TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup champions for 2019. A 1-0 victory. And a deserving victory, you'd have to say as well, Cass.
Yes, I think so. With possession held and the way that they played tonight, unfortunately Warners Bay didn't create too many chances to really challenge them.
No. And what a performance as well in terms of their defence. Just the last few minutes, Danielle Redding coming to save the day. I mean, and then as well, I think it was Alicia Clifford sliding to stop Jenna Kingsley. They had their chances, Warners Bay, but Wallsend in the end just too good.
That's right, and that's what I said. Only need one goal, and that's what we had. And it was always going to be a close encounter from the two WPL sides chasing the semi-finals down for this year.
Well, that's what they would change their focus to. For Wallsend, they'll still be trying to get into that semi-final spot. It doesn't look likely for them, as we've talked about, but at least they've got some silverware for the year regardless. They've won the TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup for 2019. It's all smiles down on the ground for the Red Devils down there. All that hard work, 5 grueling matches they've played over the last couple of days.
And definitely high fives in the Wallsend camp tonight.
And they'll be sore, battered and bruised, but it'll all be worth it because they are the champions. Warners Bay just coming up short of winning a second title. Alicia Clifford, she scored the goal, we think. We think it's going to go down for her. It was a corner kick and she rose up well. It was going in on goal. I think it took a header from one of the Warners Bay players. I think it was Cass Davis on the line, and it went over the line anyway, though it was going in on goal, but...
Definitely had the keeper beaten either way.
A great performance from Wallsend, and I guess if we had to pick a player of the match, Cass, who would you be giving it to? Player of the grand final?
Well, I was going Clifford before a back pass, but I think she redeemed herself with the tackle with Kingsley.
I think so too.
I think given that and Sophie O'Brien at the back, we're just too strong, and Warners Bay just couldn't get through the defensive structure of Wallsend. So
I think as well, a credit should be made to their midfield as well.
Yes,
Wallsend,
that's
the way
right.
they cancelled out Warners Bay, Copus Brown, Laura Hall, Jess Evans as well.
That's exactly right.
I think a fantastic game from those three in the middle, but also the three up front. I think it was just a great team performance. We could go through all of them, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Cass, for joining me. It's been great to spend the last 50 minutes with you. A great game to call with you as well. Thank you for joining us here on Bar TV Sports.
Hopefully I won't be doing this again at the end of the year.
for the WPL Grand Final. No.
Yes, hopefully I'll be in that one. But if not, yes, we'll be back at it later in, is that late August, early September?
Early September will be, yeah. So we'll all the best for the rest of the season, Cass.
Thanks, Q.
But for everyone else, thank you so much for watching here on Bar TV Sports for the Community Play Final, as well as this game, the TAFE New South Wales Women's State Cup Final. It has been fantastic at bringing it to you, bringing you the best of women's football in this region. Make sure you do follow Bar TV Sports on Facebook, as well as Northern New South Wales Football's pages for upcoming live streams as well of the Herald Women's Premier League, as well as the NPL Northern New South Wales every single weekend. And it's cold here at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. I want to get my bare feet and my shoes on, so I'm going to leave you. Thank you for joining us. It is bye from us.